Education meeting into order, and we'll have Ms. Boyer do the roll call.
Ms. Cato. Here. Mr. Hook Rattle. Mr. Moore.
Here.
Mr. Shook.
Here.
Dr. Walter.
Here. Everyone, please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to offer public participation in board meetings. Is there anyone from the public that would like to address the Board of Education? Okay, I see none. So we'll move on to item E. Jen Dennison from ODNR Division of Wildlife, Wild School Site Certification is here to speak to the board.
Hi.
Hello.
Good evening, Superintendent and board members. My name is Jen Dennison. I am the Wildlife Education Coordinator for the Division of Wildlife, which is part of the Department of Natural Resources. And this is actually one of my favorite parts of my job. I get to present you with this great certificate to honor everything that you all and your students have done to help create wildlife habitat out on the school grounds. Wildlife education is important to us because we want students growing up and understanding how they can help support wildlife and our natural resources, and having that kind of access to the outdoors is a perfect way to do it. And so I applaud you for allowing that to happen. It's the original outdoor classroom. You don't have to look things up on Google. You just go out there and you learn about them out in the original classroom. Your students, teachers, and administrators have done so much great stuff out there. You've got pollinator gardens, you've got bird boxes, you've got trails, a really nice shelter house. It makes it very accessible for everybody to get out there, very close, and it allows them to go out and not just learn and increase that knowledge, but they're also going to be able to do research and do some really nice observations and really get to know the wildlife that live close by. I'm proud of what they've done. I hope you guys are too. And I think we're seeing the beginning of some really great things from your students and from your classes in the future. So on behalf of the Ohio Department of Natural Resources Division of Wildlife, I would like to present the students, teachers, administrators, staff, parents, and volunteers of Liberty Union School District this certificate designating you as the 202nd certified wild school site in the state of Ohio and only the 4th in Fairfield County. So congratulations, keep up the good work, and I think we can give them a round of applause. The certificate, and at some point we'd love to get some pictures. I will give it to you.
Yeah, we can do that during our refreshments.
Yeah.
Okay. And give that to.
Thank goodness for Ed Sands for donating all that property out there too.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very nice, thank you.
Hey, last spring it was your entity that gave us a lot of plants to plant out there, and our kids planted them. Just this little pond around the perimeter.
Is that still on water conservation district?
Right.
U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service.
Oh, okay.
I think it was Brent Sonic did.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And the last few mornings there's been blue heron out there, and I witnessed it pulling frogs out of that pond.
Nice.
It's really going after it. And there's a goose pair. They're out there. The geese are out there. This male and female. They're feeding every morning. And
Don't yell at us for that later.
And the frogs are making a lot of noise right now. In the morning, you get up there early in the morning. They're really, there's a lot of frogs that bird can eat if they're making that much noise. But anyway, we're really excited about what we're doing here. Thanks for recognizing.
We are too. Yes, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on to item F then, refreshments. So item 1, we've got probably the best cook in the whole state of Ohio back there. So enjoy some refreshments.
Yeah.
So,
And then will you help us with some pictures?
Sure.
I'll help with that.
Okay, I'd like to call us back in session. Now we'll move on to item number 2, which is department presentation. Mrs. Jennifer Blackstone, the portrait of a graduate.
So if we all want to take a look above Mr. Shook's head right here. This is an opportunity to do an unveiling of our portrait of the graduate. I've kind of told this story a couple times before, but we actually started this process back in 2018. The 18-19 school year, we informally just started talking about what are the skills and attributes that we want our students to have when they graduate from Liberty Union School District. So if you look at alumni from Liberty Union, what kind of characteristics can we say to describe them? And that was kind of just informal conversations that we were having in our meetings. In 2019 and 20, we formalized a partnership for strategic planning with Battelle for Kids. It's called the SOAR Network is the name of the collaborative group that gets together. And we started kind of having more concrete conversations about what does a portrait of a graduate look like. And of course, we did that in 1920. And so we ended up cutting that year short in our strategic planning in March of 2020. And then the next school year, although we still kind of continued to talk about it, we didn't have any formalized meetings. We didn't return to Battelle for Kids. I think we maybe had a check-in point or two just virtually on Google Meets or Zoom, something like that. And this was always kind of in the back of our mind, but we didn't formally work on it during that school year. So then in 21-22, we got to finish what was year 1. So 4 years into it, we were finishing year 1 of the strategic planning through Battelle for Kids. And then this school year, 22-23, we finalized the process, which includes both the visual representation as well as the 5 C's that we have there at the bottom, and we call those competencies, and the definitions that go with them. There's a lot of work that goes into that one little piece of paper that's hanging on the wall, but the work and the process that we've gone through has really changed a lot of the conversations that we have. When we're sitting in like an instructional meeting, or I'm at a meeting at one of the buildings with teachers, they are already in their minds referencing it. And we haven't even really done like an official kind of rollout. You know, I mean, they've been part of the process along the way through surveys. We've had open forums where the public has come in 2 different times. And so they've been a part of the process all along, but even before we kind of finalize this first step, it's already starting to mold their thinking and mold their conversations. And our March professional development day that we had, we shared this visual representation with the staff members. And then we did an introductory activity into what is called deeper learning. And that's the next step in this process. It's called portrait to practice. So how do you take these 5 competencies and how do they affect the practice that you do in your school district, but ultimately in your classroom every day with students? And that's really what we will do in the next step of our journey, is take this portrait and these 5 C's and put them into practice. At the last board meeting, I failed to mention to you guys, and I think I told you in an email as a follow-up, you had an experience A and an experience B. It was an activity from Battelle for Kids, and that's the activity that we did with the teachers on the March Professional Development Day. And basically what it does is take a 7th grade science classroom, and it gives you a description, which they called experience A, which if you looked at that and you were observing it, it looked like a really good lesson plan. It was instructionally sound. It was aligned to standards. There was an assessment component. The students were engaged in their learning. It was all of these things that, like I said, that go on in our classrooms all the time. And then experience B was the portrait into practice, and they call that a deeper learning experience. And it was that same exact 7th grade science classroom and what instruction would look like in that classroom if you were focusing on incorporating these 5 competencies for students and not just saying, I'm going to teach these science standards. And so that, like I said, is the next step in our journey in our portrait of a graduate. There's also some meaning behind the portrait I wanted to talk about. So the visual image of the lion was created by a student, here at Liberty Union, a 2022 graduate, Kylie Unsinger. She created that visual image for the graduation program last year. So if you've seen that before, and as we were going through it, we had a couple different variations of it. And it at the beginning it was just like a male lion's profile, and then kind of right like the 11th hour, somebody said like, well, shouldn't we kind of maybe have a representation of both male and female in our portrait? And then a teacher said, why don't we have this student image that we can utilize? And so it's like after we had kind of played around with the image for a long time, it ended up being a student image that we used. So I thought that was a really important piece to the puzzle. Any questions?
Thanks, Jennifer. Thank you. Before Mr. Cade comes up, just wanted to acknowledge that Mr. Rattle is here with us now. And also, I wanted to mention, I spoke with a young gentleman by the name of Mr. Art Gray, who's the first time I've ever met him before, which is pretty bad, but I wanted to acknowledge the fact that he's here, and you served on the board for 20 years, sir?
Yes.
So thank you very much for your service to the board. Okay, Mr. Cade.
Okay, good evening, everyone. We'll do the show and tell for the high school tonight. Kind of recap of a lot of the great things that have been going on in the high school with me and Ms. Meacham worked through our first year here. We kind of tried to capturing things. Hey, that's really good. That's awesome. Here's something we like. And we're seeing it in all the departments throughout the building at different times through the year. So I just want to go through and highlight some of those things that are going on. Well, it's quick. It's all over. I know last year Ms. Watts put out the new graduation plan. Just kind of give you a reminder of that. There's going to be a new addition to that with the sophomore class. We'll have a new addition for all the students, but we're putting in sophomore year as a financial literacy course at the state mandated semester. I think all the students could use those skill sets. We're going to checkbook, buy a car, all those kind of things. So something new that's going to happen there. And that was the old pathways. Nothing's really changed there, just different pathways to fill a kid's schedule. That's kind of an eye chart. There's some of the new course offerings, again, the financial literacy, where we put in jazz band in, and several more CCP offerings, trying to expand on what kids can take in the building from that College Credit Plus standpoint. Anything else down the bottom?
So those CCP classes will all be taught by our teachers in
In-house,
our
yeah,
building.
our teachers in-house, yep. Yeah, Mr. Ewing added the 2 new lit courses there. They like Miss Aiello, the Spanish department, adding a music history theory course from Miss Fisher. And I'll have to try to read, and classroom management, something we're looking at putting in, if we get enough interest in it, with Miss Sage. She's gonna be teaching that for those students who may be interested in going to education. And we're gonna coordinate that with our current program for the elementary with the service learning project they do anyway. So we're gonna incorporate that into that class. A lot of things going on in the career tech area. I mean, everybody sees everything ag does. It's very, it's out there, it's very prominent. They do a lot of great things, but sometimes you're not in the building, you're not seeing what we're doing in the engineering spaces. They invest, we invest a lot of money in that space. That's one of the, is that the engraver? I believe. You see it there all the time.
That's 3D printer.
That's a printer, okay. We also got an engraver with that. We also have an opportunity now for a rotary tool, so you can put something on, spin it, and engrave it. So a lot of neat things going on there. Obviously, the drones. Students just took an industry credentials test, and I believe about half of them passed it the first time around during their industry credential, which basically means that they have done all the ground school necessary for a pilot's license. So when they get done, they can actually fly drones, and if they want to get their private license, then they have to go to the airport, do all the flight time and those kind of things. So they still have an opportunity to test again at the same cost. So we have some students that are again studying really hard to get that credential. And we'll be starting a new course next year with that, a senior only course that allows them to get those industry credentials just like a career tech program would. The laser cutters, they're doing a lot of different things in there. You may have seen some of that stuff out and about. The vinyl printer, we've got that all calibrated and starting to put things out with that. That's an untapped resource we haven't got much into this year, but it's going to, people are beating down our doors to make things for them. So way to incorporate that into the schools things. And again, more college credit plus, and that's mostly with the University of Cincinnati. Still have that great partnership with them. Just some pictures of things they've been doing. Got some of the drones there on the left. The middle picture and the bottom picture, if you didn't know, tore down the wall. Used to be like the old home ec room. There in this, here Miss Lehman's class, and expanded her space, and now only do they have the computer side of it. Next year, with all these tables and stuff, they're gonna be actually building and tearing apart building computers. So they're gonna get into really the computer hardware aspect of the class. And there's a little line over there on the left side, something they 3D printed. And the right side is some of the props, you've never seen them from the Wizard of Oz. We went to the musical. They did a cross-curricular coordination with engineering department, that, and the art department. And these things are created using the 3D printer, designed and created by the students, built, and then they were decorated by the art department. One thing I really want to highlight, if you get a chance, anybody get a chance to go to STEAM night? Okay. STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. That's something that we did a few weeks ago. Just a way to get students excited about the technology and all those different aspects that they represent. We had over 300 people in the building that night. K-12 kids, parents, and a lot of great things happening. Every department was doing something. Departments had multiple activities going on at the same time, but it was a great turnout. A great way to showcase the building, all these new things we have going on, and definitely for the younger kids, get them excited when they come to high school. Hey, I can get involved with these classes and take these courses. That's just a list of some of the activities each department did. I think Angry Birds is up there somewhere. That was pretty popular. Drone flying. Actually, I think them just making the cotton candy was a big plus too. Get that fun with that. And said every department did some things, so there's something all tied to it. And some different pictures you can see. We have our drone fleet out there. The big drone that Mr. King is now licensed to fly that thing. He's fully certified to not only teach it but to fly it. Even the young kid in the middle there, he's excited, figured things out in the technology classroom. So they have the VR stuff going on down in Miss Lehman's room, working with that. So kids are really excited with that. I'm sorry, I'm making a web. I'm old, I can't see that far. I want to just give a little shout out to Mr. Kirk. He lives when I call him Captain Kirk. But he did a great job of organizing and planning on STEAM night, but also bringing in some OSU extension people from the engineering department. So they had these robots that were in there, and it's like a ground compactor. So kids were able to play with that. They had a lot of kids had fun with this. An entomologist came in, a whole bunch of different bugs. They deal with the soil, so the connection to the ag department there. So the kids are messing with all the different critters there. You can see they had fun with the cotton candy. That was a blast. And that's Angry Birds there. They get that opportunity. They were talking about angles and arcs and all those kind of calculus and engineering ideas, but the kids are having fun just trying to, for them, they're trying to hit the targets up on the ceiling with their little pop birds. So they're like playing the Angry Birds game. Too fast. I think a lot of them got a big kick out of the drone class, flying drones in the gym. They all had a great experience. Something we did learn there is that we probably need to have a bigger budget and buy cheaper drones that can break easier. Because there's some crashing going on. So we'll have to figure that out for next year. But the kids were really excited about that. Up in the science classroom, I think they're doing some DNA extraction up there with Mrs. Grubb's class. Which, side note, if you get a chance to see science fair, she did a great job with science fair. Also with that. Get some shout outs, the whole team, especially Mr. Kirk for putting it all together. A lot of different groups came in. And it was really exciting for me to hear, as an administrator, see this event go on, all teacher-led, teacher-driven. And for about up until spring break, they were still talking about what was going on at STEAM night, still talking about, hey, how can we make this better next year? So it's something we want to continue. People they could reach out to, I know the Air Force came in, the recruiters, and had a little meeting, fed us, which was nice, fed the team, but
They were even talking about, hey, how can we get involved with this next year? We have some good drones. We have some pretty cool toys we can bring in. So I thought that was a good thing to let them see that and hear that. Just if you get a chance to see the play, great job there at the Performing Arts Department. I think everybody loved the witch. She did a great job with that. And there's the entire cast. So first time I ever seen a school play that actually encompassed all K-12. Usually you see it's just the high school, maybe a couple junior high kids in there, but to have the whole K-12 body involved with it was pretty exciting. And just some different things that have been happening throughout the year. Where the wrestlers made the 100 win club. Some pep rally stuff there. A couple of the dances, I don't know what this line dance is. They're rowing a boat or something there. I didn't participate in that one. The other line dance, okay, maybe. To be honest, I think if they just play some of those line dance songs all night long, that's all the kids would do. And just some different pictures, things that happened throughout the year. I think they had fun at the pep rally on the musical chairs there. That was pretty exciting. Did a couple of tug of wars. I didn't get pictures. They had the fire department come over, and our kids did the tug of war at the fire department, and the fire department lost. Juniors and seniors want to have that cheering rights and all that stuff. They get pretty motivated to win these little activities. And can you click the link? See if it'll work. This is one of those pep rally things here. Can't get it to you right now, can I? Yeah. All right, well, the video, they had a group of teachers give it to cheerleaders, and they came out and did kind of like their own line dance. They get up and kind of like when the basketball players come on the court, and they do all the hand jives and kicking and tapping and all that stuff. They had a couple dance moves going to that, so I'd have to, most of the new teachers that are young can handle all that movement. And they were twisting, falling on the ground, doing rolls, doing all kinds of stuff. So it was pretty exciting, pep ride to see them do that. So I'll send you guys the link. You can watch it. So, any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kay. Move on to item 3, discussion and approval of the minutes from the previous board meeting.
Page 12,
I'm sorry,
to page 12.
page 12, it is. Through page 12. Item B would be vote to approve the minutes for the previous board meeting in March. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion by John Walter, second by Sean Shook, to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of the Liberty Union-Thurston Board of Education held on March 13th, 2023, as printed. Ms. Folliard?
Ms. Cato?
Yes.
Mr. Hook-Rattle?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Shook?
Yes.
Dr. Walter?
Yes. Okay, item 4, monthly financial statement. Ms. Folliard?
Right, our monthly financial report. On page 4, compared to last year, our income tax and our property tax are both up. Our state revenue has gone down, which we've been expecting. And the all other revenue is up, which is due to the interest income going up. And then on page 6, salaries and benefits are up due to raises and retirement benefits. The increase in all other expenses is due to the buildings and the new improvements. And then page 8 is the interest, which is doing really well, over 32,000. Makes me happy. Page 9 shows we're at like 75% of the year as of March. And this in the full report that you looked at, it's actual expenditures and not the encumbrances, the purchase orders that are still issued, like for the concession and locker room that we still have to pay for, but they're not showing in here yet. A partial payment is. And then page 10, this page shows our actual beginning cash balance in the first column. The current cash balance is the second column. The third column is our open purchase orders. And the fourth column shows the balance after you take out the open purchase orders. And then again, the 400s and 500s are state and federal grants, and most of those are reimbursed after the expenditures. Then you have our bank reconciliation. And then the bills paid. And then page 7, a little down from the top. Check 100348, March 17th to KTLB LLC for $23,365.50 was the final payment for the Philly trip, and that came from the Washington DC trip fund. And page 9 towards the top. Check 100393, March 30th to David Price for $210,200. That was the first payment on the contract for the concession locker room. That came from the general fund. And then page 10, in the middle, check 100419, March 30th to Air Force One for $33,421.97 was for chiller repair and inducer motor. $21,223.32 came from the 034 classroom facility maintenance fund, and the balance of $12,198.65 came from the general fund. And you have the changes to the 018, 200s, and 300s. And then the donations, $500 from OU Athletic Boosters to baseball, $70.41 Kroger Rewards to high school principal, $432.70 Kroger Rewards middle school principal, $31.44 Kroger Rewards to volleyball, $3,000 South Central Power Company Foundation to Backpack for Buddies, $100 from Mike and Huberta Johnson to FFA, $100 from Mike and Huberta Johnson High School Musical, $1,250 LU Athletic Boosters to softball, $25 from the Print Center USA, its gift card to High School Musical, $73 miscellaneous donation to High School Musical, $1,650 miscellaneous banquet donations to FFA, and $400 School Pulse survey gift card to high school principal. That's what I got.
Okay, anyone have any questions for Ms. Foley?
I just asked that we pull the donations out separate so that we can vote on it separate.
We can do that. Okay. Okay, with that said, move on to item E, vote to approve the monthly financial statements with the donations pull out separate. We'll make that, E1 or E2?
E2.
E2, okay, so we'll do E, everything but the donations then. Motion by Mr. Shook, second by Ms. Cato. To approve the monthly financial statements as printed above, minus the donations. Ms. Boyer?
Mr. Hookrattle?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Shook?
Yes.
Dr. Water?
Yes.
Ms. Cato?
Yes.
Item E2 will be the donations portion of the monthly financial statements. Do I have a motion? So moved.
Second.
Motion by Sean Shook, second by Carol Cato, to approve the donations portion of the monthly financial statements as printed above. Ms. Boyer?
Mr. Hookrattle?
Abstain.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Shook?
Yes.
Dr. Water?
Yes.
Ms. Cato?
Yes.
Okay, item 5, new business financial. Item A, permanent appropriation adjustment for fiscal year 2023. Ms. Boyer, Dr. Johnson, do you have anything in that regard?
The $6,553.30 is a safety grant that Dr. Johnson applied for. It's for training the SRO officers. And the 650,000 is basically to help cover the POs that I just had issues, took from other places, so I could issue them, for the concession building. And, the 50,000 is just for some repairs that we have.
And item B will be service providers. Service provider Denise, is it Bart?
Barte.
Barte. Contract period August 1st, 2023 to June 12th, 2024. Service provided occupational therapy for LU students. Fee is $69.75 an hour for a therapist and $61 an hour for OT assistant. Service provider Sedgwick, January 1st through December 31st, 2024. Workers' Compensation Administration Services, $980. And Zern, July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024. School Account Services and Curriculum Study PD for a fee of $10,000. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Sean Hookrattle, I'm sorry. Second by Sean Shook. To approve items in the new business financial section. Ms. Boyer?
Mr. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Shook,
Yes.
Dr. Water,
Yes.
Ms. Cato,
Yes.
Mr. Hookraddle.
Yes.
Item 6, new business personnel under employment. Chris Schreier, Secretary, Middle School. Contract secretary salary scale step 23, 1-year probationary period per OPSI, Article 6.01, effective March 28th, 2023. It's a 50-day contract to finish out the school year. Item B, which would be resignations. Brittany Zook, Secretary, Middle School, for purpose of resignation, effective March 31st, 2023. Item C, 2023 summer employment. Carissa Lehman, custodian, summer help for the district at $15.40 an hour. Effective dates May 26th through August 15th, 2023. Heather Hoover, custodian, summer help for the district, $15.40 an hour. Effective dates May 26th through August 15th, 2023. Cole Pearden, maintenance, summer help for the district, $16.25 an hour. The effective dates May 1st through September 1st, 2023. Item D, certified substitutes. Teresa Marshall. The superintendent requests board approval for the list of certified substitutes from Fairfield County ESC. Item E, vote to approve new business personnel. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Carol Cato, second by Sean Shook to approve items in the new business personnel section. Ms. Boyer?
Mr. Shook,
Yes.
Dr. Water,
Yes.
Ms. Cato,
Yes.
Mr. Hookraddle.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes. Item 7, new business personnel. Items must be voted separately. A, employment classified contract for Mr. Zachary Shook, 2022 to 2023. Zachary Shook, position will be custodian at the elementary and middle schools. Custodian salary scale, step 0, with a 1-year probationary period per OPSI, Article 6.01. Effective date March 27th, 2023. Item B is vote to approve new business athletics. So,
It should probably say.
yeah, I was gonna say. Okay, so let's, do I have a motion to approve the new business personnel?
Second.
Motion by John Walter, second by Sean Hookraddle, to approve the items in the new business personnel under the classified contract for Mr. Zachary Shook. Ms. Boyer?
Dr. Walter?
Yes.
Ms. Cato?
Yes.
Mr. Hookrattle?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Shook?
Abstain.
Okay, item number 8, new business athletics for the 2022-2023 athletic supplementals. We have Mr. James Peck for the spring season. The position is varsity assistant girls track coach, level 3, step 0, effective date March 15th, 2023. Item B is vote to approve the new business athletics. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion
Second.
by Carol Cato, second by Sean Shook, to approve the items in the new business athletics section. Ms. Boyer?
Ms. Cato?
Yes.
Mr. Hookrattle?
Abstain.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Shook?
Yes.
Dr. Walter?
Yes. Item number 9, new business other. Item A, exchange student, 2023-2024 school year. Someone please help me with that name. Manuel Cipollone, from the country of Italy, host family,
Just say Peter.
yeah, Peter, looks like Peter and Elizabeth Derzinski. Sound good? Grade for 2023-2024 school year will be grade 12 for Manuel. Item B, summer camps. Approximately 25 FFA members and adults, including the 2 FFA advisors, will be attending. The FFA chapter will pay costs for transportation to and from the camp using school transportation. The FFA camp, the dates are in June 2023. Transportation by the Liberty Union-Thurston School Bus Transportation Department. Lodging will be at the FFA camp in Muskingum. Chaperones will be FFA advisors and parents. Student cost approximately $265 per student. FFA advisor cost to be reimbursed from the CTE funds, $132.50 per advisor. Item C, disposals. These are some of our documents as far as retention that we are getting, that we are disposing of per the agreement with
The record retention.
the record retention schedule from the state of Ohio. And I'm not going to name all those documents off. Thank you. Item D, this is a second reading, BDEA, notification of meetings. Like I said, this is a second reading. And Ms. Boyer wanted me to point out on this on page 20, that part that's stricken out there, notice must be signed by the officer or members calling the meeting. That is not, that's
That's
right.
new, it wasn't struck out
Okay.
originally.
Okay.
It's been in there all these years, but it's not something we've done. So we felt it was better to strike it out.
So we're not required to. That's not required, okay.
In item E, vote to approve new business other. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Motion by Sean Shook, second by Sean Hookrattle to approve the items in the new business other section. Ms. Boyd?
Mr. Hookrattle?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Shook?
Yes.
Dr. Walter?
Yes.
Ms. Cato?
Yes.
Item 10, board policy, first reading. Item A is EBC, emergency management and safety plans. Like I stated, this is first reading. Item B, IGAE, health education, first reading. Item C, IGBEB, dyslexia intervention and supports, first reading. Item D, IGCH-R, also LEC-R, college credit plus, first reading. That was a little longer. Item E, JHG, reporting child abuse and mandatory training, first reading. And believe that's it under those. Item 11, other matters that may properly come before the board. Is anyone-
I do have a question on.
Oh, I'm
the-
sorry.
No, you're good, you're good. Is this a new, completely new, policy for us? Because it's all green. Okay,
What page are you on?
sorry, I'm at the bottom of 22.
22.
Well,
For dyslexia.
the dyslexia intervention and supports.
New, because it's a new law. We're working our way through it, I think we're.
This is based on what we've been working on with some of the training and
Right,
everything, yeah.
exactly. And we've been doing that, I think we're way ahead, but would you agree, Jennifer, we're way ahead of the other districts on this one?
Yeah.
So if someone had their student screened before and wanted to do it after this is in place, are they able to? Like, is it a different process than what we have today? I guess would be my question. Would it be a different group?
If they were screened this school year, it would not be any different.
Okay.
They were, we're basically a year ahead of the law in the policy.
Okay.
So we have implemented all of the things in this during this current school year, although it wasn't required until next school year.
Okay.
If they were screened prior to this school year, then yes, they could request it again and it would be a different process.
Okay, that's fair. Thank you.
Anyone else on any of the first readings of board policy? Okay, item number 11, other matters as may properly come before the board. Does anyone have anything? Okay, item 12, executive session. An executive session is requested by the superintendent. What do they fall under, Dr.?
D and E.
D and E. Okay, D and E. Do I have a motion to enter into executive session?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Sean Hookrattle, second by Sean Shook. To go into executive session for the reasons stated above at
59.
7:59 PM, and those reasons are item D and item E. Ms. Boyer?
Mr. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Shook,
Yes.
Dr. Walter,
Yes.
Ms. Cato,
Yes.
Mr. Hookrattle.
Yes. We